I'm Sonia Pankaj. So it's snowing here in Berlin, and today I wanted to talk about GPT Store, but I do feel like it's much better to first kind of cover the OpenAI APIs, especially chat completion, before moving on to the GPT Store part. So, if you do not know about GPT Store, OpenAI recently released GPT Store, which is like with customized chat GPTs. So you have your own tailored way of doing things. So these custom version of chat GPTs are actually called GPTs. So it gets a bit confusing. What are GPTs? What is chat GPT? So basically, the customized version of chat GPT is called the GPT, and this everything will be available in a GPT store, which OpenAI has already released. And GPTs are a way to have a tailored version of your customized ChatGPT on your own data and things like that. So let's begin with chat completion.
Today I'm only covering the chat completion part of the API. I'm also not covering the function calling part. So you need to go to your API reference, your OpenAI key, and then you can go to the endpoints. There you can see different stuff like create speech, transcription, create translation, and then you can go to the chat. And here is your chat completion API, which basically needs message, model, and functions if you're using function calling. So I've made this notebook for you, and I will add it in the description. It has all the elements that you need. So the elements we are going to talk today about is the model and message and the chat completion. We will cover the function calling in an upcoming video. So what happens? You need to describe your model in your chat completion and your message, and it has two parts. It has a role and the content. So the role has three different types, right? So uh, uh, if the role is the system, that means you're defining the nature of your assistant. It could be like act as a poetic assistant. So this is the role that if it is system, that means you're defining the nature of your assistant. Classic example is a helpful act like a helpful assistant, or be poetic and help the user query. If the nature or if the role is user, that means you are sending that content as a query. So here, if you can see in the example, so here you can see in the example, I've defined model 3.5 turbo because I wanted to use function calling, but there is a defined list of functions that can be used just for function calling. You can also try to minimize the hallucination part with the role system by just by saying, don't make any assumption about what values to plug in into VAC function. Ask for clarification from the user. So these are the small prompts that can actually help you reduce hallucination. Now, if the role is user, that means this content has to be a query. And if the role is assistant, that means it is the response of your chat completion. So we like totally understood the three types of roles: the system, the user, and then assistant. In the next one, we will cover add function, and will understand what this tools type does in the content and the chat completion part. So thank you for joining me. Let's see in the function calling.